What's up, everybody? It's B with Pray for Snow Auto Detailing, and frankly, I'm just super excited that you're here because we have a 2009 Chrysler Aspen in billet silver metallic, and it is here for a pre-sale detail. The only difference with a pre-sale detail versus just a normal full detail is on the exterior, we do a wash, including the wheels and tires, of course, but instead of doing a paint protection, we switch that out for an engine bay detail, which not every customer elects for in the normal detail because it is a little bit extra, but we switch that paint protection for the engine bay detail. That way, when the buyers come to look at it, it looks amazing in there and they can see what they're actually getting. We are going to also do a full interior detail. Now, this is a 2009, so it definitely has some miles on it, about 188,000. And most of these miles were with multiple children. And you know, kid hauling cars are always the most epic to detail and the most enjoyable transformation process. So let's get to it. We're gonna get started on the Aspen detail with the engine bay. I don't wanna hit it with the pressure washer because it's a little bit older and I don't want to damage anything. I've gotta clean out all these leaves. I also want to clean up all of the plastic, anything like that. So we're gonna use our detailing brushes, APC, and then we're going to treat everything, make everything look nice and restore the black plastic pieces in here with GoPro Hero for the interior. When I said that I did not want to damage anything, what I meant is that I do not want water sitting on any of the electrical components or anything that would cause a vehicle malfunction. So when I do this, I'm very careful. I also make sure to rinse after I detail and then dry everything completely, as dry as it can be, with the Adams air cannon, and that seems to help a lot with those little corrosion things that come when water is sitting on an electrical component, for example. After I get done drying, I am going to dress all of the plastics with the GoPro Hero because I have found that dressing this engine bay makes it look so epic. We are going to use our Meguiar's Tire Wheel Cleaner, our super sick detail brushes, and of course the pressure washer to clean all of the wheels and tires. Thank heavens it is not carpeted wheel wells because those always make a huge mess. And as an update, this is the last round of Meguiar's Tire Wheel Cleaner. I have ordered some other stuff. You'll have to wait for a future video to see what it was, but this has been pretty great. Hopefully what I bought isn't bad. Occasionally, the forward and rear side of each spoke gets really gummed up with brake dust and it looks like rust. Sometimes you can get it off, sometimes you can't. We're gonna give it a try. Tires are done. Engine bay's done. We need to rinse the entire Aspen and then we're gonna wash it, obviously using the ever epic foam cannon. The soap we're gonna use today, or the shampoo that we are going to use today, is Mr. Pink from Chemical Guys. We are going to then hand wash using the 2-bucket method, and then of course we're going to dry using the Adams air cannon. This is in no way a negative review of this foam cannon that I was using on this detail, but watch right here, boom! It totally lost the seal and water was going everywhere and I lost all pressure out of the foam cannon. I pushed it just a little bit harder just to get it through this quarter panel so that the soap or the shampoo could dwell, but what I found was I just needed to tighten up those connections. The O-ring was not broken, it was just loose, and the pressure from the pressure washer had made it spill out. So not a negative thing, but I did slow that clip down just a tiny bit so that you could see I was definitely super sad in the moment. And remember that we are not doing a full stripping wash because we're not doing paint protection. We are simply getting the vehicle clean. That is why we used the shampoo of Mr. Pink from Chemical Guys, which is a fantastic shampoo for a normal maintenance wash. Exterior all done, it is time to move on to the interior of this Aspen. Now, it's not in too rough of shape, or so I thought. I started looking at the seats and I think the extractor is going to have so much fun. But there's one more thing that I'm just super excited about this vehicle in particular. Check this out. How sick are these anchor points? They do not go down into the frame of the vehicle like they do on the Expedition. They are built just as little hooks, so the seat clamps right down into them. On the Expeditions that I've detailed, you have to get down in there and it's always full of stuff from kids. This is not like that, which is super sick. We will get the interior kicked off with the mats. One way you can tell that cleaning these carpets was an absolute necessity and how much of a difference the combination that I used cleaned. Look at the Aspen logo right here. You can see before the vacuuming it was very dull, and that P especially was completely dark, almost like it was ruined. And even after just agitating with the drill brush, I was shocked at how much those letters lightened up. And then of course as I extracted it, it made a huge difference and they turned into the light gray that they were or should be rather than a dark brown. Now that the mats are clean, we will get rolling on the vacuuming. We're obviously going to start in the rear of the vehicle, move to the front. I am a huge advocate for floor mats. This Aspen detail definitely highlights why I love floor mats so much. You can see this rear bench. The floor is not the light gray that it should be, but really kind of like a brown gray mix, and it did not have a floor mat to protect it. I do not know how long it was like this, but when it came to me, it did not have rear floor mats. The middle bench, however, did have floor mats, so it had some protection. So you can see, looking at the back and right here at the front, the huge difference in what the color should be versus what it is, and floor mats are the only difference in this Aspen. Of course, my goal is always to have every vehicle be as epically detailed as it can be. So when I am dusting the plastics, I will use my detailing brush in all of these tighter areas to make sure to remove the dust first before I actually start the cleaning phase. It has a higher rate of success in getting things clean, and it definitely goes a little bit smoother having removed the dust first.
Now it's time for carpet cleaning. We are going to use our chemical gas carpet cleaner with our weed sprayer, of course, super technical. Drill brush to agitate, DeWalt cordless drill, and of course the Sandia carpet extractor, which is always epic.
I cannot even begin to describe how excited I was to extract this rear bench, especially the middle seat of the rear bench. Look at how many stains are just hanging out on there, just asking to be removed with the Sandia carpet extractor, and of course the combination of chemical gas citrus carpet cleaner and the DeWalt cordless drill with the drill brush. Once agitated, a ton of stuff came out. It was definitely not the dirtiest seat I have ever done, but I love getting stains like that out. Now, not all of the stains removed on this rear bench or on all of the seats. The vehicle was a little bit older and definitely had a lot of use in it, but a ton of them did, and it looked phenomenal when it got done. Headed back into why I think floor mats are everybody's best friend, because this area had a ton of debris and dust and mud or whatever it was embedded in the carpet fiber. It took a ton of time to extract, and it was not extracted on the first pass or the second pass. It really took about 3 or 4, and it extracted almost all of it, but it took a lot of effort, and I was very, very impressed the difference in this rear carpeted area versus the carpet in literally the rest of the Aspen. I was pumped to get it clean, but shocked at how much difference floor mats made just in the middle bench and the rear bench. If you follow the line for the 60-40 split of that rear bench, you can see how epic the Sendia carpet extractor is when pulling all the nastiness out of carpet. See the line and follow it down. You can see the carpet is gray on one side and brownish gray on the other. Booyah, Sendia carpet extractor. And on the ever epic Bees carpet extraction scale, with 1 being clean and 10 being dirty, the Aspen rated a 6, and it simply got bumped up because of this rear carpeted area and the rear bench. The middle bench definitely extracted a lot, but that rear bench and the rear floor increased the average overall. I didn't even show the extractions for most of the rest of the carpet because it wasn't worth it, because it wasn't as awesome as everything else. Before we get into interior detailing of this Aspen, we need to mix up some more APC. So as you guys know, I typically use 3D APC, and I've been a huge fan of these bottles from Chemical Guys, mainly because they have the ratios right here for how you want to mix them. For example, we are going to mix this APC for interior at 10:1, so there's a little line right here. So we pour the concentrated liquid in there. We have some distilled water. We're going to fill it up to the top line right there. And it is going to give us the exact ratio that we need for interior detailing with our APC, or all-purpose cleaner, which really is a fancy way of saying degreaser. We have arrived at the plastics and glass cleaning of the Aspen detail. We're going to kick things off with the 3D APC that you saw me prep a minute ago. We're going to use our steam cleaner in the more soiled areas, our detailing brushes in the tighter areas, and of course microfiber towel to wipe off. To protect the plastics, we are going to use Pearl Interior, diluted at a ratio of 5:1. from CarPro, and of course a detailing brush to get in all of those tight areas. We're going to level and wipe off with a microfiber towel. For the windows, we are going to use Chemical Guys glass cleaner, of course a domino, and a microfiber towel. For the year and the miles of this Aspen, I was really impressed by how amazing the plastics were to detail. I assumed when knowing the miles and the year that this was going to take a lot longer on the plastic detailing, but it really didn't take that long because they were in really great shape. There were a couple problem areas that I will point out a little bit later, but for the most part, the plastics were in awesome shape. I'm really pumped that this area right here is not like it is in an Expedition, but still needs to be clean, so let's try it out. Seriously, 10 points to Chrysler for not building their anchor points like the Expedition's anchor points are built. Those are the worst. This was one of the problem areas I mentioned earlier on the plastics that was difficult to clean. I had to go over this area multiple times with the steam cleaner and the APC. I ended up removing the end of the wand and shooting the steam directly into a bunch of those cracks, which has a high rate of success. It also is pretty risky because you do not want to hold it in one area for too long and risk melting something, which would be not awesome. The technique where I remove the end of the steam cleaning wand and spray steam directly into areas is one that I employ when getting to small cracks like here on this rear console, because you can't get in there typically with your detailing brushes or almost anything, so hitting it with the steam cleaner helps a lot to force all of that dirt and debris out of the crack so that you can wipe it up with a microfiber towel. One little behind the scenes trick that I have to do when detailing is after I detail an area of plastic, especially if I hit it with the end of the steam wand removed, debris flies everywhere all over the recently cleaned carpets. So after I do that, I always vacuum up, but I don't think I've ever filmed that. So here in this clip, I show you that I have to vacuum up because I made a huge mess. The steering wheel was the second really hard part to detail. The leather on that lower portion, because you've got the faux wood up top, it was really hard to clean and it had something on it. I don't know if the leather was just deteriorating or what, but I was really careful when detailing it because I didn't want it to be damaged, and it definitely was different when I was cleaning it. I don't think I've ever detailed a steering wheel that is like that. My usual process for applying interior dressing or plastic protection, that was a mouthful, is to spray it onto an applicating pad and then apply it to the plastic, and then go get the finer areas with my detailing brush and level and wipe off with a microfiber towel. You may notice that on this Aspen I tried a different technique by using the detailing brush as the applicator. Now this was just simply to try something else out. I didn't know if this technique would hurt or help, but I definitely wanted to try something new because I always love improving my technique or changing things if it has a better rate of success. So I tried it on this Aspen. I've tried it a couple of different times and the jury's still out. I'm not entirely sure I'm sold on it. It definitely took a little bit longer, but I'm having a hard time deciding if the application was smoother. If you have any thoughts or comments or input, throw them in the comments section below, please. That would be awesome. Of course, this is the part of every video where I love to say thank you to the customer. Thank you, awesome customer, for letting me get your Aspen ready for the sale, and I am pumped that you trusted me to do it. That Aspen detail was so sick, and I was way excited that the customer brought it to me to get it prepped to sell. And without further ado, let's get into B's top 3. Number 3 is the engine bay. This went extremely well, and I liked how it turned out. That CarPro Pearl dressing on all of the plastics turned out incredible, and it really does do a lot when you're trying to sell a vehicle. Then the potential customer can see what they're actually buying instead of seeing a fistful of leaves and a ton of dust and debris. Number 2 is the carpet on the driver's side of the rear bench. This area was covered in embedded particles, and it was so much fun to extract. Really, this area right here, oh my gosh, it was so much fun to extract, and it took a ton of passes. That pass I just made was like the 5th pass trying to extract all of that stuff out. Even with as epic as the Sandia is, it did not come out easily when I was working really hard to make sure that this Aspen was prepped for the sale. Number 1, and my absolute favorite part of the detail, and it may sound really silly, but the wheels. They were chrome and covered in brake dust. The forward and rear sides of each of those spokes really did look rusted, and I put it as number 1 because I did not think I would be able to get it completely out, but I was shocked and surprised and happy, and all of that range of emotion as I worked on it, because it looked so good once it was done, and it looked awesome and ready for the customer to sell it. If you are not subscribed to the channel, there's a link right up here to get you subscribed. Please go do that. If you are subscribed, you are awesome. Over here is a link to another one of my amazing videos. Click that, watch that, enjoy that, and of course like that. Now remember, if you do want to detail with B, all you got to do is go down and detail that like button, and I will catch you on the next one.